Okay, so this will be the example of the melee attack. So let's look at the scene first. So we have this guy that can move around, and then on spacebar we have this melee attack, and it damages the enemies in a certain range. And also we have this text effect on the enemies, which is just a text in a world space canvas. Also, the attack of the warrior is randomized, so we have two versions. Select the random one each time you attack. So let's look at the code for this. Well, we already covered this type of movement. But I'll go through it again anyway. So let's look at the warrior script. So we have a move speed, we have a move direction. We have a bool that lets us know if you can move or not, because while attacking, we cannot move. Also, we have a bool that lets us know if we're currently attacking, because we have an attacking routine. Also, we have an attack range, the damage, and then the components that we need. The sprite under for flipping the sprite. We have the animator for managing the animations, and the rigid body for movement. Also, we have a layer mask, the physics layer of the enemy, because we only want to target enemies with the melee attack. So in the start we get the components that we need, and by default we can move, and we're not attacking right now. So in that, if you can move, we get the input and we create the move direction. So on the X we have the horizontal axis, on the Y we have the vertical axis. So again, this is for input, for getting the input. So for example, the get axis horizontal returns -1 if you go to the left, 1 if you go to the right, and 0 if you're not pressing anything. The same for the vertical, but that's for up and down movement. So we check if the move direction is different than vector to 0, meaning if the warrior is moving. We enable the animation, the running animation, by changing the parameter, because we have some animations here, and we have a parameter called this running. So this is only used to transition from idle to run and from run to idle, because the attack animations, we transition to those by script, and then the transition from those to idle happen automatically with this transition that has exit time. So again, if we are moving, we enable the running animation and we flip the sprite depending of the move direction horizontally. So check if the X of the move direction is bigger than 0 here. And else here, if we're not moving, we change the running parameter to false, so we disable the moving animation. On space, we attack, so we check for space, and we use the start attack coroutine, which is just a function that starts the coroutine. Now to damage the enemies, we have a public function that we use as an event on the attack animation. So if I go here and open the animation panel, and we go to the attack one, let's say we have here an event, and then we use this attack enemies in range function. Same on the second attack, here we have an event. So this will be used as an event. Let's look at this. We use the overlap circular, so we look for the we look for all objects within a certain range of the warrior, and then we apply the damage to all of those. So here we get the script from each enemy, and then we apply the damage. In the fixed update, this is where we update the velocity, but only if we can move. So when you can move, we update it. This is the function that starts the attack coroutine. So if it's not attacking, only then we start it. And then the coroutine itself, when we start it, we change the can move bool to false, so we can no longer move, and then there is attacking is true. And that way, by making this attacking true, we don't start another coroutine while this is running, because here when we start it, we check if if it's not attacking. Okay, so after that we start movement, so the velocity becomes vector to 0. We have the speed of the animation here. To get the speed of an animation, you just go to the animation in the assets. For example, let's see, where's the warrior? So for example, this warrior attack to animation, where it says here length, that's the length of the animation. So I just copied that here. Then we have we create a 50-50 chance to use either attack 1 or attack 2. So we create an integer from 0 to 1. So it's either 0 or 1. And then if it's 0, we use attack 1. If it's 1, we use the second attack. And then we wait for the animation to finish. So we say yield return, you wait for seconds, animation duration. So we wait the whole duration of the animation and added a little bit more here just to make sure that it's finished. And at the end, we say can move is true, so we can now move again, and then it's attacking false, so we're no longer attacking. So that's for the warrior. Now, because in this scene, we sort the sprites by their Y value. So let me show you what I mean by that. So let's say the warrior is on top of the enemy. Now you see that the sprite of the enemy is on top of our warrior. But if I go below it, now the warrior is on top of the enemy. So that means that the sprites are sorted by their Y value. And this is not done by changing that setting in the preferences or the project settings. Let me show you actually. So there is a setting where we can change the how sprites are sorted. Unfortunately, I cannot find it. I don't know why. But in the built-in project, this is URP. But in the built-in, you use this transparency sort mode. Okay, and by default, you see if I go to custom axis is Z. So the sprites are sorted by their Z position usually. But in this case, I want this to be sorted by the Y position. But the thing is, I have many scenes in this project. And if I do this, I change the sorting method for all the scenes. And I only want to change that in this scene. So I had to make a script that changes the render order by script. So I have a little script on each object here that just changes the sorting order. Depending on the Y value, okay? So because I only want to change this in this specific scene, I had to make a script for that. So let's look at the enemy script. This is very simple. In this case, I did not give these guys HP, and they do not die. But you can see the damage using that text. Also, let me find the damage text here. So for the enemy, it's very simple. We just have a holder of those texts, and that one has it's in a canvas that's in world space, and it has a vertical layout group. So those damage text stay at equal distance from each other, and then we have the prefab of the damage text and the get hit function. So we just found the text here, and then the text prefab, and we give it the damage value. So it will be minus plus the damage converted to text. Now for the text itself, we have a little animation. I will show you that again. So you see it goes from small to big, and then goes from big to small, and also fades the transparency. So we do that by script, actually, not using an animator. Let's look at how that works. We have a script on those texts. So we have a wait time, meaning we'll see that in the coroutine. Actually, I'll show you that. So we have the text component. We get it by script at the start, and then we start the coroutine that does these two effects. So the first effect is we change the font from small to big, the font of the text. So we have a starting font size and an end font size, and then a duration for this effect. So here again we have that for loop that counts time and lasts this font size duration amount of seconds, and then in here we change the font size over time with the mathf blurb function. So after that, after we change the font from small to big, we make sure that the font size is the end value, because like I mentioned before, this t here goes from 0 to 1, but it exceeds 1. I mean, sorry, it's below 1. Uh, so this font size is not, the font size of the text is not the end value at the end of this. So make sure that's the exact value here. Then we wait some time. We let the text be for some exist for some time here. And after that, we fade the transparency and change the font size from big to small. So here for the color, we say that the color of the text now is new color. We maintain the red, green, and blue, and the last is the alpha, the transparency, which goes from 1 to 0. And then for the font, the same. We use Matterflurp, but this time from the end font size to the start font size, so from big to small. And then at the end here, we make sure that the transparency is 0, and after that, we destroy the text. Now for the, let's go back a little bit to the script that sorts the sprites depending on the Y value. I used ChatGPT for this. Um, but the idea is it changes the sorting order depending on their Y position. And it also converts this to integer because the sorting order must be an integer. You can ask GPT for this, ask ChatGPT for this. Let me see if there's anything else here. No, I think that's it for the mail attack.